Hello everyone, I'm very glad to announce that today we're going to be releasing all builds of Meow's Adventure 3. After 2 years of development, we've finally finished the game and I can now make all the beta versions public. I do plan on going more in-depth into the technical difficulties that we had throughout development in another video, but for this one I'll just be explaining how development went and what went into each stage of development. The download for all builds of the game is in the description, and enjoy the video! The first stage of development was Cat's Engine 3. These are the earliest builds of the game. The first one was uploaded on May 18th, 2022. This is when we added basic features of the game like walking, running, jumping, levels, and a basic menu. This stage only lasted 5 days, and there isn't much to say here. The next stage of development was Alpha. This stage of development lasted 4 months. We started adding in more advanced features like toys, enemies, parallax scrolling, sound effects, a file select, an options menu, and different game difficulties. We also started working on the level design, and the first 2 levels of the first zone were completed. Demo 1 was created during this time. However, we wanted to be more secretive with the game back then, so it used a build of the game that was already outdated at the time and did not even show the actual levels, as it was instead a recreation of the speedrunning demo. Also, it wasn't even publicly displayed, as it was hidden at the bottom of a page that didn't even have anything to do with Meowzie's adventure, which is kind of just stupid. The next stage of development was Beta. Beta is when the majority of the work was done on the game and it lasted 10 months. The Grassland Zone, Funky Forest Zone, Icy Glacier Zone, Stealthy Shore Zone, and Arid Canyon Zone, as well as Skybase Zone were all completed during this time. Besides that, we also finished up the engine and added multiplayer to the game. This is pretty much where all of the demos were, including Demo 2, Demo 3, Demo 4, Demo 5, and, of course, Demo 6. The next stage of development is Beta Stage 3. Beta Stage 3 was the shortest stage of development, technically only lasting 2 days. During this time, Lavaland Zone and Meow Metropolis Zone were complete. If you were wondering what happened to Beta Stage 1 and 2, they are both included in the previous stage. Beta Stage 1 was when we were working on the first 3 zones. Beta Stage 2 was when we were working on the next 3 zones. Beta Stage 3 was the next 2 zones, and Beta Stage 4 was the rest of them. Speaking of Beta Stage 4, this stage of development was when we completed Ocean Palace Zone, Neon Machine Zone, Sunset Savannah Zone, and of course the final zone. We also started working on the final boss and added usernames to multiplayer. We also made Demo 7 during this time. This was not an actual demo, but rather a build made for playtesting and showcasing. The next stage of development was Prerelease. Prerelease lasted 3 months. This stage of development was when we made the cutscenes, finished the final boss, improved the graphics of some of the old levels, made a new saving system, and bug fixed the game. These were technically 3 different stages of pre-release, but they were all pretty short. The final stage of development was Release Candidate. The Release Candidate stage of development was pretty much just finishing up the game. It was only meant to last around a week, but it ended up lasting 4 months instead. The main reason for this was that TurboWarp, the engine we were using, has very poor memory management, so the game would crash after playing for a while. We tried a bunch of different things to help fix it, like putting multiplayer into a separate file, compressing assets, and even attempting to make our own memory management. However, we eventually found out that using a different platform called Fork Forest would help fix our issue. It was not without its problems, however, and it would lag a lot, some features didn't work, multiplayer didn't work, and it also didn't even have a built-in way of getting widescreen. We had no better option, however, and after spending a couple more months fixing the issues as well as making a widescreen tool, the game was finally released after 2 years of development.